Austin.
Hola chicos. Bueno. Alright, we're going to go over that subject pronoun chart. And I have to talk really, really loud because I left my microphone out in my car today.
Why don't you go get it?
I know. Well, you see, I could, but then I have to leave you guys all here, and I know what kind of things happen when I leave. So
You have it all on video.
Is it recording? Yes, it is recording right now. So you have to be behaved, okay? I know this is 5th hour. This is the first time 5th hour's ever been on the video, so we got to make sure that we're on our best behavior, okay, chicos? Bien?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, muy bien. So on the video that we just watched, he went over at the very, very end there. He reviewed and he talked about the different subject pronouns in Spanish. So what you guys will want to do is make sure that if you did not catch all of these, that you write them in this box. Let's review this box though real quickly. We have the left versus the right. The left means what? The right means what? Plural. Okay, very good. Then we have this, this, and this. This is the row of the first person, meaning who's involved? Me. And then the second row is second person, meaning who's involved? You are involved. And then down here we have the third person, meaning we're talking about a group or a person, somebody else, okay? I'm not involved and you're not involved. Now I did tell you down here, ignore these guys. Why did I tell you guys to ignore these guys? Do they fit in their boxes? They don't. Does anybody know where you and y'all should probably belong? I mean, leave them down there, but they're kind of outsiders. Where should they go? What row should they go in? What do you think, Amelia?
The same one as like you and y'all.
Yeah, exactly. They should be second person, right? Because I'm talking to you in those. But they got stuck down here for some reason. You'll see why in a little bit when we talk about the verb ser. These should be up here, but they're kind of kicked down here because they use the same verbs all the time as he and she and as they do, so that's why they're in the same box, okay? That'll be more clear later when we get to that. But anyway, let's talk about what was in this box. If you want to say I in Spanish, you say
Yo.
yo. Okay?
Yo.
Yo. If you don't have that written down yet, I highly suggest that you write that in there.
Yo.
You, informal, is what? Two. Let's hang on. There we go. Two. What is he in Spanish? El. What's the difference between that and the? Señorita.
There's an dash over the E.
There's an accent. Very good. There's an accent over the E in this one. There's not an accent over the E in the masculine singular, which is el. Okay? She. What is she in Spanish, chicos?
Ella.
Ella. Ella is she. E-L-L-A. Please do not call that Ella. We know that a double L sound makes what?
Why?
A Y sound, okay? And then the last one on this column is you, formal, which is
Usted.
okay? Now, kind of confusing. They talked about this in the video. Why do we have a two and why do we have usted? When do you use one or the other, chicos? Because somebody tell me when you would use two. Mariana?
Oh, never mind. I want to do that one.
Okay, tell me when you would use two.
When you're talking to someone you know or someone who's your equal.
Yeah, exactly. When you're talking to somebody who's like your equal or somebody even that you're above, right? Like, I don't want to say above, like, oh, I'm better than you. But somebody that's like in a position of subordination to you, somebody that's under you in authority. So like a boss would talk that way to his employee, or a teacher might talk that way to a student. It's not talking down to somebody, it's just you're just being less formal with them, okay? And then, right here we have usted. Mariana, when would you use usted?
If you meet someone or if they have a higher status.
Exactly. If you meet somebody new, or a lot of times if there's a big age difference, like a lot of times people in a family will use usted with their grandparents because there's such an age difference. See, Amelia?
Can you use it when you're talking to a big group of people?
That is a different one. That'll be over here on the left or on the right because that's all the plural ones. Good question though. I got a quick question for you guys. If Senora Prudhomme is talking to her best friend Crystal, she gonna use two or usted? Everybody. Two. Okay. If Senora Prudhomme is talking to her dog, what's she going to be? Or what's she going to say? Two. To my dog?
Two.
I'm going to talk to my dog in the two form. I don't need to give him any respect. As a matter of fact, he made me so mad yesterday because he threw up on me that, yeah, I was just sitting there and he's at my feet and then all of a sudden, bleh, and he had 30 seconds later, my baby's like, bleh, and he threw up on me.
And you're like,
it was not a
Calm karma was not on your side.
Epic fail. He's an Australian Shepherd. Anyway, I digress. If Mr. Hansen walked in here now and I said, Mr. Hansen, you, tu or usted?
Usted.
Usted. Why would I use usted, even though he's not really that
He's
much
an upper
older than me?
class.
Oh, he's your boss.
He's my boss, yeah, so I would use usted. If I were talking to my husband, a little bit. If I were talking to my husband, which one am I going to use, chicos?
Usted.
Well, actually,
Kyle.
could use instead because the wife is in charge.
Well, if that were the case, if the wife were in higher authority than the husband, we have an equal partnership. But if that were the case, he would be calling me usted, right? Okay, let's go on, chicos. We has two different words. What is one word for we, chicos? Kind of. It's nosotros. Very good. You guys have got pretty good pronunciation. Nosotros and nosotras. Okay? Here am I. I'm going to talk about me with a combination of different people. Myself and Santiago. If I'm talking about us, what am I going to use? Nosotros, okay? I'm going to talk about myself and Marisol and Sofia and Cecilia and Isabel and Liliana and Mariana and Santiago. Which one do I use?
Nosotros.
Nosotros. If there is one guy that enters in your group, you have to respect the man and you have to make it nosotros. Yes. Chicos, exactly. If I'm talking to a group, like let's just pretend that this class was 25 girls and one boy. I still have to call them chicos, okay? All right? Again? So,
I'd enjoy
nosotras is
that.
only okay, chicos. Gracias. Y'all in Spain was what? Started with a V. It rhymed with we.
Yeah. Voso. How does that rhyme with
There you
we?
go.
How does that rhyme with we?
Sorry, it rhymes with we in Spanish. Vosotros and vosotras. Again, same thing. If this classroom grew wings and we flew over to Spain and we plopped down in the middle of Madrid and I was teaching all of you and I'm talking to you and I say you all, if I say you all to all of you guys, a mixed group of people, I'm going to say vosotros. If I'm just talking to these two and I say, hey, you guys, you two right here, I'm going to say vosotros. If I talk to these three, I'm going to say vosotros, okay, because we have boys and then we have mixed. And then if I talk to just these three girls right here, I'm going to say what?
Vosotras.
Vosotras, okay, I'm going to talk to three ladies, so it's going to be vosotras. And then the last one right here, they and y'all. What's they? Starts with an E. Ellos. And the plural form is ellas. Okay? So, let's pretend that Marisol and I are gossiping, okay? Which is not a nice thing to do.
That's not good.
But I gossiped with Clara, her sister in third hour, so I'm going to gossip with Marisol too. Okay? So, Marisol and I, and this is just pretend by the way, Marisol and I actually, we don't gossip, do we? No, we don't do that. Okay. So Marisol and I, we're talking and we're gossiping, and we gossip about Diego and Alejandro. Diego,
Oh, wait a minute.
Alejandro, they
Muy guapo.
son guapos, no? But what am I going to talk about? Am I going to say ellos or ellas for when I'm talking about them? Ellos, okay? If I am gossiping with her, and we gossip about Alejandra and Emilia and Selena, and when we're talking about them, which one are we going to use?
Ellas.
Ellas, it's a group of girls. And then she and I, we talk about Mario and Cecilia and Eliana, and basically everybody back there in the back row. What are we going to say,
Okay.
ellos or ellas?
Nice.
Because we have un chico. Why sound, yep.
Oh,
Okay. See?
this is really random, but how do you say bear in Spanish?
Also. That is really funny because I was actually going to teach that to you today.
Oh, really?
That's like the next thing we're going to do.
That's my friend's dog's name.
Leonardo, you're a magical blizzard.
I had to know.
Oye, chicos. Right. Y'all in Latin America. What one did you guys catch from the video? What is y'all in Latin America? Start with the U.
You.
Ustedes.
Ustedes.
Yeah.
Now, Again, we have to make the distinction between this box right here where vosotros and vosotras is, and then down here where it's ustedes, okay? So vosotros, vosotras, ustedes. If you are in Spain, you can use either one of these. But if you use this one up here, like again, if this classroom were in Spain, I would use vosotros with you guys. But let's say that Mr. Hansen walks in, oh, there's somebody that I need to show respect to. So all of a sudden I'm going to address the whole group as ustedes. Hey, you all need to da-da-da-da-da. I would say ustedes, okay? If you are in Latin America, you will never use vosotros. You will only use ustedes. As a matter of fact, if you talk to them in the vosotros form, they're going to kind of be like, you're from Spain, aren't you? You have that weird Spanish subject pronoun that we don't use, okay? So, ustedes is what you would use in Latin America. See?
So, even if you weren't talking to Mr. Your consultant, you would still use ustedes?
I could use ustedes or vosotros, but if I were in Spain and I was talking to you guys, I would probably use vosotros because it's less formal. Ustedes is more formal in Spain. In Latin America, ustedes is everything. You use it formally or informally. See?
In Mexico or anywhere else that speaks Spanish, would they get offended if you use the wrong, like, way to
Did you
say
see the
it?
guy get
Yes, they would actually. Because for instance, let's say that you walk into a store and you're talking to the clerk, and the clerk is like older and you don't know them very well and things like that. If you're talking to the clerk and you tell them, hey, tú, all right, hey, you, they're going to think that you're rude because you should talk to them in the usted form because you don't really know them very well, okay? You need to show some distance there, so you need to say usted instead of tú, okay? What's the time on the video right now?
We're hitting 11.
11 minutes and 39
11:40.
seconds.
Okay. All right. So last point that I want to make about this, look at the bottom of that sheet where it says this little blurb down here. These are the subject pronouns in Spanish. You have learned them. We're going to practice them, don't worry. They often will start with, they will often start a sentence. It is a good plan to memorize them in this chart because we're going to use this chart all year long, as I told you. Because this is how every time I introduce a new, what part of speech do you think I'm going to say next?
Action.
No, verb. Every time I introduce a new verb, this is how I'm going to introduce you to a new verb using this chart. Mike, can you hit the red button on that?
Yeah.